Oh yeah?
Okay.
Okay. You've been having some challenges with thyroid and...
So I have not been diagnosed with thyroid disease, but however, just some of the symptoms.
So maybe not have it, don't know for sure.
For sure.
Curious.
Yeah, curious.
Tired and low energy, pretty fog.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Temperature sensitivity,
Okay.
extremely cold most of the time.
Yeah.
But my excuse is like, I'm from the Caribbean, I'm used to heat.
Yeah.
So, but I think, and then weight gain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that helps me tailor this for you, and we'll jump in and get going. So these are the fun things we get to see. My body's not fighting back, so I can do the things I used to or want to do, I love to do. And it's hard for older patients like, hey, let's help you get your life back. Like, you really going strong. And so with that, my family needs to be busy with never a dull moment is the bottom line there. So they're going to come back to the story here in a minute. But I'm going to show you today, like, how we can get amazing results even when other things fail or like, try this, it work. Like, we're going to show you why the body works and how we can make it better. Okay? So with that in mind, we don't lose you the information on that. People have thyroid problems. It's like, why is this such a big deal now? Why is this happening? Right? And the traditional treatment options, are you aware of what those are?
No.
Okay, so typically this hasn't changed since the 70s. They do prescription medication. If your numbers are out of normal range, they'll give you medication to try to regulate the number. But it doesn't fix anything. And then eventually, if it's dysregulated, they go toward radiation and kill it if it's overactive, and it's surgery remove it because it's cancerous, things like that. So nobody really wants that pathway, but that's sort of what's available in this traditional medical world. Okay, so it's supported a lot of people. Obviously, you need those interventions are there, but most people want to manage symptoms, and most people are getting tired of that. Like going, I just, I'd rather get to the solution and not just take a pill. Or is that kind of how you are?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Just making sure we're on video like. And here's what we commonly see. You're feeling drained, you got a busy schedule, you just can't keep up. Mood swings, irritability, the weight gain is common as well. Brains for you?
A little bit.
A little bit? Yeah. And then on the real bad days, if people have a severe thyroid problem, you just can't go, you're just showing up. You really want to, honestly, you can become suicidal.
Okay.
So that can be the real dark side of it if it goes that way. The better way, right? Like, what's this look like? Instead of just managing symptoms. So brief background about me. I never wanted to learn about hormones and thyroid and all that stuff. I was like, that's nice, but that's somebody else's job, And then my wife, her dad, my father-in-law, was diagnosed with autoimmune thyroid in his 20s. So that's been a big part of the story. Really, since we've been together. So she's had genetic influence for her thyroid. She was a swimmer in college, and the pool chlorine interacts with your thyroid. So we're not very around, and so all these chemical toxins can affect how that functions. Actually 6 out of 8 of us, myself included, have had thyroid challenges. Our youngest has Down syndrome, which is a population that's known to have thyroid problems. My mom and sister have hyperthyroid, which is an autoimmune disease that's attacking the thyroid gland. And for my sister, it got to the point where, and this before I knew what I now know, her eyes got big, which is one of the problems with an overactive thyroid. The eyes get real large. If you've ever seen people with real big eyes, it's okay to have just maybe, or people watch or notice things like that. Bottom line there is her eyelids no longer covered her eye.
Oh.
Yeah, so they started to dry out, but that's bad. So they did a couple of surgeries to actually try to give her eyelids to cover over her eyes. You know, she could go on surgery and come back with, miserable and bandages. I'm like, what in the world? Like, again, the symptom management, they needed to do that, but it wasn't actually fixing the issue. Right? So, fast forward now, I've been doing this for 20 some years, and working on protocols that actually work, and now they invite me to speak from time to time at different workshops, seminars. And here's the bottom line that we share with people that is different than most people are familiar with. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to give you a little bit of a different paradigm to look through for healthcare in general, let alone thyroid or energy or those kind of things. Okay? So everybody wants physiology to work right. And that's determined typically by values, how you're feeling, how the body's working, those kind of things. Is that doing its job? What controls the physiology? Chemistry, and then there's typos in here, I realize I haven't gotten to those yet. But the chemistry then runs the physiology. And that's most of what I've been told is better health through better chemistry. Change your diet, take medication, take supplements, whatever. You're changing chemistry to make things better. And that's super valuable, but it's not the full picture. Physics actually makes the chemistry work. Right? So if you don't have the right physics, then the chemistry actually can't operate. And that's where we get into the basic 3 levels of physics, which are light energy, which we get from the sunshine. And we turn that, what vitamin do we make with sunlight? Are you aware of that? Yeah, that's becoming really common knowledge now. People get, vitamin. So, that's one example. Obviously, plants use sunlight, use that to grow. So, that's big time energy for the body to do things. If you travel and you go to a different time zone, then that changes sleep cycles and all that. So, weak sleep cycle is a hormone shift with light. Makes sense? That in a minute, but the body basically is electrical. It's on electrons. Okay, and the other is magnets, or the Earth's magnetic field. So, tide pulls with the moon, right? We got gravity, all these different forces that work with us and against us to some extent, right? But that actually makes how the body actually operates and runs with that. Does that make sense? So, if that's working properly, and you might know this person, so beach, right? You're the beach. Toes in the sand, waves are crashing. You're probably eating junkier food a lot of times when you're vacationing. Stress levels are down, sure, but you start to get recharged and re-energized because you literally got the sunlight. You're getting the waves crashing, which is these ions in the air. Right? You're actually getting physics back into the body to heal. Does that make sense? So if you can do that full time, cool. But that's sometimes a full-time job, just healing. And now we got technology we use to actually make that work at home with a standard busy life. Makes sense? Yes. So that's the key. If you don't feel like junk. Okay, so that's chemistry is good, but it's the physics problem. Or the other way around. They feel great, but their labs are trained right. How are you still standing up? It's so that's a chemistry problem, but the physics are good. Does it make sense? So it helps you figure out what's going on with the individual, depending on how they're feeling. So that conceptually, we're going to get today, okay? So, bottom line is here's a nutshell how the body makes energy. So, ideally, we take oxygen and we breathe that in, and then electrons. That's the electron, the electricity part. That's where that comes in. Oxygen electrons, we get 34 energy molecules. So it's when that system starts to break down, and there are 6 reasons why that will happen, I'll tell you that in a minute. When we go back up the system, we're burning sugar, and we basically get 2 energy instead of 34. So that creates this giant energy debt or gap in how much energy we can produce. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the reason this will break down, like what drains the battery, is going to be the structural stress or problems like injuries, traumas, things like that. Mental, emotional stress could be another one. Either events that have happened at the end. Nutritional deficits. Other ones will be toxic exposure or environmental poisons, right? Electromagnetic fields that we got, Wi-Fi and 5G and all this stuff that our body was never. Structure, chemistry, allergies and sensitivities. So like food reactions or chemical sensitivities. So those are the 6 things that would drain the battery and push us into backup mode. All right. So with that in mind, back to this energy idea. Every cell in your body is actually a battery, and there's trillions of them. And if you're running at full tilt, you can fix whatever you need to. You can run all the apps you want to on your phone when the battery is good, right? When that starts to drain, you got to start either shutting down apps or recharge the phone. And the body does the same thing. And it's got to pick and choose which ones it runs. So all of these things require the most energy, you think. You know, quiz here.
I guess, I don't know, your muscles?
Yeah, heart, absolutely number 1. Heart's always working, never gets a day off, thankfully. Brain would be number 2. So those 2, and if you think about like somebody could be brain dead and their heart's main one keeps it running. So there's a theory there that the heart will donate, or the body's going to donate all of its energy to keep the heart running at all costs. So that's why when you think about this battery drain, you still have to make. Well, I keep this easy and simple for you. It's like the first step in failing systems is that the body can't repair everything. It makes room for mutations. And if that's the case, it still needs to replicate and make new cells. That's like the job of the body is to make new cells to replace the old ones. So with that first step is, there's no test on that, but it's a big word, it's called the heteroplasmy, when it starts to break down a little bit. When it goes further, now it's called apoptosis or cell death. In other words, what's your industry? What do you work in?
I work in the mental health.
Mental health, awesome. So I'm going to show you something here in a minute that's going to be like super helpful for you and everyone else you work with. Yeah, we're going to spend some time on that one. But that being said, the first step is going to be, you need to expand cells. So if we're back here, right, and we used to run 34 energy, now we've got 2. How many more cells do we need to make up the difference? Right, a lot more, like 15, 16, 17 more cells to get enough energy the one used to make. So with that in mind, when we're in here, the first thing is actually multiplying cells to make enough energy. So the first thing we see is enlargement in the tissues. So terms you might have heard of, like cardiomegaly or splenomegaly or fatty liver disease. Like these are all enlarging organs, thyroid, goiters, etc. The tissue is getting bigger to try to make more energy for that system. Does it make sense? So that's step 1. Now you got all these workers that are hired, but nobody's training them. They don't know what to do. And they're actually costing more than they're helping now. So that is where the immune system starts attacking them and killing them off because it's not worth the energy to have around anymore. Does that make sense? So that's autoimmune disease in this category. When that drops even lower, that's when cancer is able to develop. Okay? So literally the charge in the battery, when that 9 volt, if you will, in your battery, in your cell starts to drop in its ability to hold a charge, then there's no cell on the planet that can actually cancer, we actually use it as a verb, no cell can cancer if it has more charge than 40%. It's really minus 90 millivolts is the number if you're curious. Anyway, so what got me to think about this, and you mentioned heart. Have you ever heard of anybody with heart cancer?
No, actually.
Right? Like it's super rare if it exists, and it's probably never primary. So again, it gets that energy, that idea of like everything's going to donate energy to the heart. If you had liver failure or liver cancer, which is going to kill you quicker?
Liver failure.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it fails, you're just done. So the same idea, you're going to die of some kind of a heart event before the heart could ever develop cancer, right? If it fails, and you're out. So that's a big concept shit. Now, we don't treat cancer. We do have several patients that have it. We work with them. But we're trying to energize them. We're not treating them cancer. Does that make sense? But that being said, conceptually, if you can think through this model of energy debt, it applies to anything and everything in the healthcare world, but even in the mental health world to some extent. So that's the model we use to think through and how we're help bridge the gaps with our patients and patient care. Okay, so for the sake of time, we'll go. Deb, she's amazing. You want to hear stories? Is that encouraging you? Okay, I'll play Deb's story. It's like maybe a minute or so. It's pretty short.
Hi, my name is Deb. I've been coming here to Legacy Health since May. I needed to have my energy back. I had no energy. I didn't feel like doing anything, going out with my friends, anything. And I wanted to lose weight. I was overweight. Since May, I have gotten and this is now August, beginning of August. I've gotten my energy back. I lost 17 pounds. I'm still on my journey. So I'm hoping my energy is about a 9. I'm hoping to get it at 10. I know I will.
And she came in at like a 3 on her energy level. So it's been really cool to watch her get better. But that's kind of a little, because, you're probably aware, just helping people understand the stories and go, what does that actually look like? What's the outcomes that are possible? Laura?
So Laura, tell us why you're so excited and happy.
I'm going to pause this one. She gets deep into the numbers on this. And like, if you don't know if you have a thyroid, it's not really helpful in this context. But bottom line is, she had autoimmune numbers through the roof, and they got way better. And that was even before we had some technology we now have. So like, just changing diet, getting her on the right nutrients, and things like that helped her solve a decades-long thyroid problem. Is Laura's. Nancy kind of sums it up. Feel absolutely better. So I want to show you some. We kind of talked about root cause already. You get to experience our actual demo today, since you're here, if you want to partake in that. We share the stories so you can get some hope for your own healing, just regular people that have been here and gotten some help. And we can show you what next steps look like. So that's where we're going. Right, here is the big picture, and you probably understand this better than most if you're in mental health. You can't be in a state of crisis and healing at the same time, right? So if you're experiencing distress or traumas, the hypothalamus says, whoa, alarm, and we make stress hormones instead of healing hormones, right? And so these are the areas where signaling can get disrupted in the hormone system. So first one is hypothalamus goes to pituitary, and you can have signaling there, deficits in nutrition, conversion of the hormone, and then you can also have absorption problems or reverse T3 is like a storage form for a rainy day of thyroid hormone in case you need extra reserves, right? So, but did this right. Yeah, here's where stress and trauma will affect all the different areas. So that alone can impact a huge function in the neurophysiology and the neurochemistry with hormones, right? And this is geared just for thyroid. You can extrapolate all the other, 50 hormones the pituitary makes, and that can affect any and all. So that's where we always start, is with this concept of trauma. Are you familiar with vagus nerve and nerve tone and
Yes.
any of that familiar a little bit?
A little bit.
Okay, so, and briefly, when we're feeling good, social engagement, right? We're curious, having questions and conversations and all that. And then this line here represents like the, I don't know, I hear a siren go by or I hear a bumper. What's that? And you go, okay, whatever, I'm fine. But it's an up and down kind of regulation. Our default's kind of a little bit on guard, right? Just, that's normal. It's like the prairie dogs, and they pop up and they look around and then, oh, danger's fine. They go and they play with their friends and they hear something. That's that idea. When it's the threat is or perceived threat, right, keeps coming, then we go from I may to I must either run away or fight, and we're going to feel rage, anger, irritation, or the other side we're running away, panic, fear, anxiety, worry, concern. Does that make sense? If that goes too must or too much more, then it's I can't go into freeze to play dead. Okay, so then that's overwhelmed, right? Like we're just can't do more, helpless, conservation of energy, dissociation, numbness, and so on. And neurologically, you're in shutdown mode, okay, or survival mode. So that's the key we want to get through. Ideally, then you can train the nervous system to deactivate and get back into social engagement. Okay? But if that system is stuck here or here, then we can't get into healing mode and you're stuck with the same loops going on and on. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's step one, is getting you out of fight, flight, freeze into activating the ventral vagus to get that healing going. So this, hopefully is right up your alley. I just got back from a conference actually in Sedona. There was over 100 different doctors there. And there's literally, I don't know how many thousands around the world. But this technique, they have pretty those brain MRIs that prove that it works. They did it down at Jefferson in Philly. And everybody from chiropractors, mental health, acupuncturists, if you're licensed and diagnosed social workers, they're all in this group learning how to help de-stress the body neurologically. Okay, so I've spent well over 6 figures learning how to do this. And I'm giving you the Cliff's Notes version like for free. So please use this. You can get this here. I give you a handout in your folder. But that you can actually go online and just use that form. Are you familiar with NET? Have you ever heard of neuroemotional technique?
I've heard of it, but I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah, and it's common for, unfortunately, a lot of people they're just becoming aware of it. But I'll give you the fast version, right? So if you're feeling whatever dysregulation or uncomfortable feeling, you might notice in the body then too. It's like, where do my stomach feels this way, or I'm going to go just be publicly, I get butterflies. Like we get these physical visceral reactions to whatever that stories we're telling ourselves or the perceived threat. And then you literally just link up buttons on the wrist. And universal for choking, we go like this. Universal for stressed out, we do this. So this is the emotional reflex, and these are the organ reflexes. You feel the feeling, and the treatment is literally this, while you feel what you're feeling. Okay. And you can take it a few steps deeper, where, actually, I'll just have you experience it, if you're okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, so can you think of something stress-wise that might be like a 5 or a 6 out of 10? I know what you're going, nuclear. We're going, this is a really, I'd rather not be there. Kind of gets me a little irritated, agitated, whatever.
Something that's stressful.
And you don't need to share details, but you have something in your...
Okay.
Yeah, you can think of something?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you notice when you think it out? When I think of mine, I feel tighter in my neck, chest, and belly. And do you notice anything like that? Are you aware of where you might hold that stress?
I'm not feeling physical pain, but I feel just overwhelmed.
Okay, great. So and that's all you really need to go, okay, and you may not even need to name the feeling. Sometimes the words mess it up. But if you can go to a feeling of it, and just take a minute and notice what that 5 or 6 feels like, that overwhelm, and then literally put your hands on the wrist like this.
I guess the feeling would be a feeling of not knowing.
Okay, yeah, the unknown. We're going to the thumb side. So yeah, put one hand like that. There you go. Yeah, line them up. You got it. There, and there is great. And then the hand on the forehead. And then a minute or two when that kind of maybe 30 seconds, however long that takes. Just breathing. Let yourself feel that feeling. And when it feels like it's a little less intense, it's love some of it just charge. You can just trade the hands, trade the sides. Take as long as you need though. Yeah. What do you notice now?
I mean, I did notice in the beginning my pulse felt like it was faster,
Mhm.
and then in the middle it felt like it was getting slower.
Oh, good.
That's how I felt.
Yeah. Perfect. First I threw it in a different context. You don't always have that. Like, you just feel the feeling. So you just have it regularly, and it's going to change how your neurophysiology operates. So you can teach a 3-year-old how to do this. So I would encourage you, please use this, pass it on as many places as you can. But great job. So, and then commonly, if it was a 5 or a 6, when I think about it now, is it a little less? Maybe it's a bigger or 2 less. It doesn't mean it's going away, but it's a reaction to it. Give you a little more calm and neutral. That make sense? So that's what we're going for, is going from overwhelm to sort of deactivate, going back toward social engagement relative to that trigger stressor. Okay? Great job. Any questions on that?
No.
Beautiful. Helpful?
Yes.
Cool. Next one here is, that one can be a bit reactive. In other words, like, it can be both proactive and reactive. It's usually like I've been through a stressful event and it still bothers me, and you can do that. This one is usually more proactive.
Okay.
In the sense of training and building new pathways. So this one is more about, are you familiar with the Heart Math or heard of the Heart Math Institute? Cool. I get to share some cool stuff. You're going to love this stuff. So this, and you're probably familiar with other techniques with it, but you focus on the area around your heart, and then think of a memory that you've had was like full of joy, overwhelmed with love or care, right? Like a positive experience. You have a memory like that. Like for me, I think when my wife came down the aisle, it was just still, it was 25 years ago, that still gets me. So I think about that, and I just feel joy in my heart. And then the heart is a pump, one of its jobs. And that just pumps that joy through your entire body, literally just flooding your whole body with that experience of joy or gratitude, and just soak in that as long as you can. All the while you're in your mind's eye, picturing the area around your heart. So it can be helpful to kind of put your hands there and feel it. And just let that joy or gratitude or peace, whatever that memory is. Yeah. Just let it fill in your legs and your torso and your arms, and until it's filling out your ears, and you're just soaking in that. Yeah. What do you notice with that one?
That's a good one.
Yeah, a little more calm. Yeah. So that literally trains the brain out of anxiety. It's impossible to be anxious and grateful or gratitude simultaneously. They're completely opposite neurochemistry. So the more you practice this one, the more it trains the brain to go in the right direction. Yeah. So and there's other options on there for that too, but that's a really helpful one. And you can do that at a red light or whenever you get familiar with it. It might take 10 seconds. You just get a little bit of that, or you can sit there at a lunch break and do it for 15 minutes if you want. So something like that. Those are really helpful to start to get you out of fight, flight, and freeze. We see stories like Heidi, overwhelming stress, anxiety, completely different now, which is really fun to see. So number 2, so one is stress reduction, and more than reduction, it's stress resetting the neurophysiology. So that's the powerful part. 2 then is inflammation, right? And most people have heard that's a really big deal with illnesses, right? So what causes inflammation? Stress, right? That's the big one. And then pathogens. In Pennsylvania here, we're number 1 in the world for Lyme disease and tick-borne illnesses.
Okay.
Right? So it's all over the place, and that can be an issue. Other things like viruses, long COVID, all these things can be so problematic. Processed foods, junk food is kind of the next big stack. Everybody knows don't eat junk food, but you just don't do it anyway. And then you've got chemicals, medications. We mentioned like chlorine will interfere with iodine and chlorine are cousins, and they can replace each other. And then you get these Franken hormones that don't really work the same way, but they look normal on your labs.
Okay.
So that's one thing with lab numbers is you can have normal labs and still feel junky because the lab doesn't differentiate what a normal hormone looks like and what it's just going. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that can be a part of the puzzle. Things like mercury, another part of the problem with thyroid in particular. Lead and mercury are common exposures. Aluminum, another one, especially if there's vaccines involved. Those are usually not so much lead or mercury anymore, but aluminum is common in vaccines. That's the heavy metal piece. And then dehydration is a big one, especially for thyroid because we need circulation and through the lymphatic system to get the hormone where it needs to go. So if there's not enough water, you got sludge more than fluid, right? So that's a big deal. What do you do about inflammation? Here's where that messes everything up. You can disrupt the signaling, conversion of hormone, absorption of hormone, reducing your T3 activation, and there's a lot of places inflammation will mess up those possibilities in the thyroid, right? Isabel, she's amazing. This wonderful French lady, thick French accent. She was in here earlier today, actually. She came in and type 2 diabetes. She's a cancer survivor. She's in bad shape, basically. On her paperwork, she said, if something doesn't change in a year from now, I'm just going to be dead. So she was needed a lot of help. We started to remove toxins, restore energy back in her body, help her retain those corrections. And here's some of the things we used to do that. Light therapy made me a key player because that was energy back into the system. Remember the physics part. So now it's just I'm on top of the world, flying in a cloud no matter what are the circumstances. I'm feeling at my best in my body at 53. A year ago, so I was very sick. One day she came in and she's like, Doc, I'm feeling great and I'm giving you a bill. I was like, okay, Isabel, what's going on? She's like, none of my clothes fit anymore. I've lost 70 pounds and I'm giving you the bill because I need a whole new wardrobe. So we had a good laugh about it. We actually were, she came in at 198. We were reviewing her today. And now she's down to 123. So huge change in that. Her diabetes is gone. Cholesterol is totally normal. Was the other one she mentioned today.
Okay.
Anyway, all her labs are now totally fine. So super fun. to get to be a part of that. Now it's going like, what am I going to do with my daughter when she comes over the holidays instead of am I going to die? Like, just completely shift in her existence. So that's what we love to do. So how do we do that? We're actually going to show you in real time so you can experience this for yourself. If you're okay with that, we're going to give you a mini treatment. No extra charge, which was nothing to get here anyway, right? So you good with that? Yeah. Awesome. Let's do some things. I'm going to stand up here, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. We're going to do some screening tests, and then we'll go through them and actually do some treatment. So the teres minor is a muscle that goes with the shoulder. So we'll check some range of motion. If you're taking the jacket off of that, okay, that'll give us a little better on the range of motion. And then for fatigue and energy, we need to make sure that the muscle can keep doing its job. It's a quick window into what's working and what's not. Then commonly if it's thyroid, you might have tenderness under the collarbones. We'll check for that. And then the hormone team, like we saw on the slide, is brain, pituitary, thyroid, adrenals, and the conversion is in the liver and the guts. So we're going to check these reflexes on the body to see what's working. Okay? So that's where we're going. So let's check range of motion for you here. Let me just stand here. And then any shoulder bumps I should know of? Okay, cool. My hands are still a little chilly. It's freezing out there. Let the elbow relax for me. Here's nice and soft with this arm. And that moves really well. I don't think we're going to see a change on that one. Let this relax completely. Yeah, so range of motion is pretty good. Did you ever see, my dad was a truck driver for like ever and ever. So the classic truck driver with the big gut in the butt and the arms that go backwards. So if you watch people that have their hands go backwards, that's usually a thyroid challenge. Because the muscle does this, and when it doesn't work right, the thyroid side, then it starts to do this. So you'll notice that if you watch people. Bring the wrist back here for me. I'm going to push towards your middle. Don't let me do that. You see, that one's working fine. Let's do the other one here. And bring that back here, pushing out to the side. Yeah, that one's doing fine too. So this is, just from that and going, I don't know if thyroid's a major thing for you. It could be something else going on. But that being said, let's check for energy level. What's your energy level now, scale of 1 to 10? 10 is I've got plenty, and 1 is like, put me in bed, I'm done.
Well, I feel like I do have some sort of seasonal
seasonal
issues because I feel like during the summer I'm perfectly fine. During the summer I'm able to lose weight. During the summer, like I'm motivated to work out.
Yeah.
And it's once it's like this, I don't know, the pound starts creeping in. Even when my food is not changed, I eat the same way.
Interesting.
I'm pretty healthy.
Yeah.
I know I'm insulin resistant.
Okay.
I know I have issues with cholesterol.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you more, but
yeah, no, that's fine. That's good. It sounds like then when you're thinking about this model we just talked about, when you're losing sunshine and daylight, that's a physics element, right? So like, there's other things involved, but that's curious. That starts me thinking along those lines.
I actually lose weight when I go on vacation. I know you made a comment about eating, but I eat. I would say I eat unhealthy. Like I'll have ice cream and things that I normally don't have, but I still lose weight. Yeah,
right?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. Is there more stress for you this time of year compared to the summer, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I know I'm always cold.
Yeah.
Even when I have like big jackets.
Yeah, you're still like temperature.
Yeah.
So the temperature regulator is hypothalamus, and that could be more brain based than. So I just been sharing what I'm hearing. So let's try some of these others and see what we get. Bring this out here, arm straight. I'm going to check the shoulder muscle. I'm going to push to your waist. Hold that out of my hand if you can. Okay, that's good. We're going to hold that for about 3 seconds. So give me all you got. Push up with my hand here. Yep, push. 3, 2, 1. If it's a thyroid problem, it usually starts to fade away, and you're not really showing that, so that's good. Let's see how many contractions you can do. So, if you don't mind, we'll turn this way, just a little easier. There you go. I'm going to push to your waist there. And we're going to try 100 of these. Okay? So all you're going to do is just push up with my hand and keep it there. Hold that up strong. Push up with my hand. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 67. So 47-ish. Let's try that one here. Flip them down and lift up for me there, pushing up on my hand. You're trying, and that one doesn't work at all to begin with. So it might get a shoulder strain or who knows what, but that one we can't really use. So we get like 47. We should be able to do at least 100 before it fades. And so we see some, maybe the mitochondria, that electron side, oxygen into energy, is running more the backup systems than full tilt. That would kind of give us information on that. Okay, I'm going to check out the collarbones here. Any tenderness in here? Mild.
Yeah.
A little bit more on the left. Anything back here? Not really. So on a number scale of 1 to 10, what are you noticing in here?
No back.
Like 0.
Maybe up here. When you did the collarbones.
So put a number on that one.
6, 7.
6, 7. So noticeable for sure.
This one is a little bit more.
More, so 7, 8-ish, something like that. Okay, so there's definitely tenderness there. And then the we'll use this arm because it's stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there's one side that's stronger.
Yeah, well, there's a strain or something else going on with that muscle. We can't, so I don't want to use it because it's not giving us information that we can use. So the hormone team then is brain, pituitary, the reflexes, we'll go through these, and then thyroid is in the neck. The adrenals are just where the ribs kind of meet, just below that, above the belly button. And then the liver's on the right side, and the guts are just right above the belly button. So I'll have you touch these areas in a moment and see what happens. So if the muscle goes weak, then we know that reflex is disrupted. Okay, so it's like when you tap the knee, it just happens. Same thing here, when you touch these reflexes on the skin, it's either going to work or it's not going to work. It doesn't tell us, obviously lab values about it, but it lets us know what's happening in real time with physiology. Okay, so let's give that a shot here. Hold this one here. Push up with my hand. Yeah, and then I'll be touch right where your hat meets your forehead. So right on go ahead and touch on that spot for me here. Use your other hand. Yeah, there you go. Push up with my hand. Okay, and that one actually fades. That's the point for like brain and hypothalamus, that kind of thing. Let's go to the bridge of the nose. That's the pituitary gland. Push up for me there. And we see those two having a hard day. You notice the change in that? Take that away. Push up for me here. Push up. Feel that? Touch the bridge of the nose. When you're ready, push up. And you notice that change. Are you feeling that difference?
Not really.
Okay. Watch your arm. Push up in my hand, but not yet. Give me all you got. Push up in my arm. Notice where your arm is. Is it moving?
No.
Okay. Touch the bridge of your nose. These are really common questions. That's why make sure you get this. When you're ready, push up. Where's your arm now?
Down.
Yeah. Did it get weaker or stronger?
Yeah, it feels like while I'm using this arm, I'm not having enough strength
Exactly.
to hold it back up.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, because you're disrupting the reflex. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Push up for me there again. Yeah. Yep. Take that away. Push up. So big difference on that. So that's telling us that there's disruption in the brain reflex and pituitary reflex. We're going to keep going through the others if you're ready for those. So let's go to the thyroid here, right in the bridge of the neck or the notch in the neck. You don't need to touch, just kind of touch right there. You don't need to push hard. Same thing, push up in my hand. Yep, straight up. And that one, again, usually when that one's tired, we see that teres minor. But I'm not really seeing thyroid being the major, right? That one's holding pretty strong.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to liver, which will be on the right side of the ribs. Up a little higher, right in there. Yep, same thing. Hold that up strong for me. Push it up. And that one's a little disrupted. Right?
Yeah.
And let's go to above the belly button. So, yeah, right in that area there. And when you're ready, lift up. Okay, so you see small intestine. And these are areas where thyroid hormone would convert. Yours might be more adrenal, which would be if you find the belly button and go up on either side of the midline, kind of make like a horseshoe with the hand and touch them both kind of like that. There you go. Yep. and hold that up strong for me here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that one's a little tired out. Thyroid's okay, but at least at the moment as you're standing here, adrenals are more tired out.
Okay.
So we
is that
see
what you would consider what the term they're using, like leaky guts and all?
it very well could be that.
Okay.
I think leaky gut is kind of a spectrum. It's not like do you have it or not, it's how bad is the leak.
Okay.
Right? It's like how inflamed is the gut, and that can change day to day depending on what you're eating and so on, and the microbes in there and a whole host of things. The stress levels, right? All that can change it. So it's more of a spectrum of leaky gut than either it's a yes or no.
Okay.
Yeah, great question. So that's kind of the screening. We got, to recap, your range of motion's fine, Terry's mind is working fine, some tenderness for sure. And then the muscle activation we got 47-ish before it faded out of 100. And then the hormone team, we're seeing brain, like thalamus, pituitary, thyroid checked out okay. We see liver, small intestine, and adrenals. Those other ones that we're having kind of a weakness to them. Okay, we'll check some others just to bring awareness of like why are these all weak? And so just check the left side of the ribs, kind of reaching over, and we'll use the same arm here. Hold that strong. Push up for me in my hand here. Yeah, and that one's decent for spleen. If you mentioned insulin resistance, so we'll check the pancreas. We're just gonna be more like right in there. Push up in my hand. Yeah, raise that. So that pancreas is saying, I'm not doing all my job yet, or I'm overworked. It's probably more how it's okay. So just to show you some other options we could check, there's reflexes for every organ and tissue, but that just gives us a quick glance. Okay. So is that helpful? So that's our sort of assessments, and then we're gonna do the treatment now. Okay, so you ready to have a seat right here for me? And Dr. Jeff's gonna help us out here too. And we got a couple things happening here. I'll explain all this stuff for you here. This is a vibration plate, and you just slide your feet right under. You just keep the boots on, it's fine. How's that feeling? Good there?
For me here for a moment, slide right behind your back here. All right, now lean back. Is that comfortable enough there?
Yes.
Okay.
Remember how we said physics is a big deal? So we're using light energy. We're not using magnets, and we're not using electrons for the demo. We're doing light, and vibration is more for, you'll hear many your lymphatics. So we talk about light energy, and as it relates to thyroid in particular, which you don't seem to have going on just from what I can tell with the demo, but we see antibodies reduce, we see hormone ratios improve, immune response can get better, tissue can regenerate, pain reduces, inflammation gets better. Take that same concept to any other organ you want. Why might that happen if we're using light energy?
Because it's increasing possibly the vitamin D.
Yeah, you're getting energy back into the system, and that's going to allow, remember the electron one, or it's recharging the batteries, okay, and it's making more energy. It's light energy is turning into chemical energy in the body. So literally ATP production, that's the molecule we use to spin to do work. And so that literally gets elevated when we use light energy in the body. And there's at least 50 years of research on all that. We're using about 4 different kinds of light on you right now. So that's all these we got going on. So gradient, that's exactly what's going on. So vibration therapy, we get stress reduction, starts to calm things down neurologically, and enhances the lymphatics. Okay, so the lymph is the kind of the sewage water in the cells. It gets drained out into our circulation, and they clean out through the kidneys and in the bowel and things like that. So if the lymph doesn't move, you can't get rid of poisons as well. And then thyroid hormone in particular doesn't circulate through the body optimally. So that's why we use this one in particular for thyroid. There's also the standing version, and we never know who we're going to get a demo, but anybody that's had a knee replacement or joint replacement should do the seated ones and not the standing. But standing is better, obviously, for gravity and all the other muscle activation you can get. That's a better option to use if you're able. Other big helpers are, like at the beach, the waves are crashing, it gets ions. This technology actually creates ions and helps the body to start to recharge. So that's one of the reasons the beach is so helpful. But the water starts clear, starts to pump ions in, the body's able to detoxify quicker, and it'll actually turn colors as the treatment goes on, and the body starts to pull out poisons. The reason it's doing that though is it's flooding the body with energy. Each treatment lasts for about 40 to 72 hours. And so that body gets energized and starts to dump junk out quicker and easier. And we see some of that come in the water, but the real effects are happening 2 or 3 days later. Quick examples, they did a study with heavy metals, saw more metals coming out when they're using this in the urine, for example. And same thing with like Roundup and weed killer, things like that, the poison, and that's called glyphosate. And that one they saw an increase substantially in the urine when they were doing this they only did this as the intervention. So we know it helps them pull up more poisons. So that's part of the detox piece. The other one, the chair you're sitting in here, this is the magnetic chair. Okay, so literally it's a magnet that turns on and off quickly. And the last time I turned it on, I killed my computer battery, so I'm not going to do that today. But it's really easy to sit there and relax and enjoy it. But you'll feel it pulsate, and that starts to reduce inflammation. It's taking the batteries and literally charging them back up. So like when your cell phone dies, you put it on the induction charger. That's exactly what this is doing. It's pumping energy back into the body, battery recharges, you can keep running apps. Okay, so everything heals quicker with more energy. And other piece of the puzzle is, those are our like in-clinic and at-home therapies. The other one we didn't show is a microcurrent. That's probably worth showing you today.
Probably hidden in order for it.
In 4, let me grab it. Yeah. So it was all put away nice and even. I made a mess out of it. So these are the applicator gloves. There we go. And they're made out of graphite, so you don't need those sticky pads that irritate the skin and all that. And they literally just sit on the skin. And that's how the electricity is put into the body through those. And then this, we can literally, I'll bring this over for you. This one's programmed artery repair, veins, infections in the gut, inflammation in the gut, repairing the issues like leaky gut protocols, that sort of thing. Liver, kidneys, we can do brain, line, inflammation lowering, vagus nerve, you name it. We can, adrenals, we can add energy directly in tissues that need it. Based on our physical exam and lab findings, to go, okay, which batteries are drained and how do we pump electrons into them so that we can bypass and just get healing ramped up right away.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So electrons, photons, and then the magnets, those are the 3 physics. Make sense? So that's what that is. And that has been a game changer for all kinds of things. So we add the physics, and then we can do the chemistry. So we might need to make guide changes. We might need to, figure out what that would look like from the labs and history and obviously but then we'll use nutritional protocols that actually work that are geared for your specific body and what it needs. Okay, because we can see if we add whatever food that you might react to, you have to either taste it or something like that, and see how the nervous system responds to it. Because if it overwhelms or tires out the nervous system quicker. And so we can actually do that in office and see in real time what's bothering you. And if we need to run out, we can do this. It's a really cool way of exploring that. This is helpful to know any joint problems or nothing really for you. That's great. We'll breeze through this one. But a lot of people that have other hormone issues end up with knee problems or other joint problems. This activates stem cells and boosts that production. So, anybody with joint issues, we can do a lot of interventions to help them out that are not surgical and actually save a lot of trouble. So that's that one. Brain fog, my amazing wife. She's incredible. We started implementing some of these things for her, and the ideas this woman now has is unbelievable. I mean, I knew she was amazing to begin with, but then when her brain clears up, it's a whole another level. So that's our own personal experience using this for our own family. How we go, Doc? Got a good bunch of energy in there?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So now we're going to go back and recheck what we started with and see if anything's different. Get you off of that one. Yeah, what are you noticing at the moment?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of still feel the same, but
Yeah.
it feels very soothing.
Good. Yeah, that's the point. It's just,
Relaxing.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yep. Calm things down, right? Because things do get beautiful. Go just stand up on the screens, check some of these, and see what we got here. Range of motion, Terry's minor word escape, that wasn't positive to begin with. Let's see if you got more than 47 contractions. Okay, so I can turn here again. Let's go back to that. Arms straight. I'm going to push to your waist. Hold that up for me here. Pushing up. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 40. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15. 4, 5, 6, 7, 16. 80, 90, you're still going strong. We're over 100, I lost count. Yeah, arms probably starting to get a little fatigued, but it's not completely failing like it did. Yeah, you notice that? Yeah. Let's try the other reflexes and see how we did. Is that arm okay for a second? Okay, hold that up strong. Lift up in my hand. Great job. We're going to touch the hairline again right in here. When you're ready, lift up. Is that different than before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go bridge of the nose. Same thing when you're ready, lift up. That's a lot different too.
Yeah.
Thyroid was okay, but we'll double check it, make sure it didn't break. That's a joke. Push up for me here. Yeah, still that's okay. And then rib cage on the right was liver. You want to go, yeah, we'll do pancreas here in a minute. Yeah, that's great right there, flat hand. And then when you're ready, elbow straight and lift up. Cool, now let's feel better too. Let's go to the adrenals, which was, we're just hand over the belly button area. That was small intestine region. When you're ready, lift up. Yeah, it's still a little mushy, right? So we didn't get all of that.
I don't know, I think it's just the reaction of having my hands folded and not having enough energy. So
okay, well let's just take the hand off the body, like to about here.
Okay.
Yeah, just so we're not touching, but the hands are in the same position, right? When you're ready, lift that up. So that's not it, right? When you touch it, now lift up. So there's still something positive. There's still an active reflex. Because we didn't get all of it. But that's the great news too, because we can see do we make headway or not.
Yep.
And then we'll go to that pancreas over here on the left side, like right in here. Yeah, that's the reflex for pancreas. Arms probably getting pretty tired now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me one more shot here. Lift that up strong. Yep. There you go. And that one actually improved as well with the reflexes. So we're starting to see when we had, I didn't do that pain, right? So let's check here. How's that doing now?
A little bit less.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. You're not wincing here as much. How about that side?
Yeah.
Better?
Much better.
Yeah. So that's pretty fun to see pain reduction. That's another way we know we're going the right direction, right?
Mhm.
So awesome. You're welcome to sit wherever you want now, comfortable wise. But is that kind of helpful to experience a little bit? We start seeing pain reduction. The reflexes start to engage. You weren't coming in here feeling horrible necessarily to begin with, but we're starting to see things energize and get back in the right direction. And getting more information like, okay, with your history a little bit, you shared it too, there might be more going on in the brain that's actually driving some of the other issues. That'd be worth exploring some more. So that kind of help you see how we think through things and start going, okay, we're adding energy. What if we didn't do magnets, we didn't do electrons, right? We just did some light energy for a couple minutes, vibration, and your body's already starting to changes like in real time. Pretty cool. Yeah, I think so too. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing or start doing things that you saw actually felt made it better. Here are common questions we get. I don't know if I qualify. Is this for me? Right? And so we do our assessment with our intake. You just like anybody else. We'll do an exam. If we need to run labs, we'll figure that out too. See what's going on. And then have a conversation about it. We can't help everybody and, we refer them out where we need to. That's the case. How long does it take? Assessment's about an hour. And then healing times vary, right, depending on what's going on. So we tend to think in terms of when the cell replaces itself, how long is that time frame? So in this scenario, thyroid, usually every 4 months, that cell turns over. If it's brain, much longer than that to regenerate or turn over brain cells. Gut cells, they can turn over in a couple days. Okay, so it depends on the tissue we're working on and what sort of outcomes we're trying to get. It can vary for the healing times. Insurance coverage, what do you think?
No.
Yeah, they just don't cover the good stuff. Yeah. So, and then health investment, it depends on what's happening with the goals, right? So, what we do is we really go, what's the outcome that's desired? Can we help you do that? And if we're confident we make that happen, we'll put together a comprehensive plan to do that. Most people that come to see us, they're curious about energy, hormones, whatever. We'll run some lab work and figure out what's going on that side, do our assessments, and then go, okay, averages. I might, shoot myself in the foot going on a limb on this one here, but averages are about 3 to 4 months to start seeing some substantial changes for most people, and care plans, depending on what their goals are. If they want to own equipment at home, right, and treat daily versus coming to the office to do it, that can vary widely then for price ranges. Assuming someone wants to own equipment and have a comprehensive care plan, which typically, I'm averaging maybe once a week visit in the office. You're going to be starting in the range of probably 6,000 to say, 20 plus, depending on how severe sick. Yeah, so things like that. Other starting points can simply be, maybe you don't need all that stuff. As a one-on-one, I don't know if you need all that, but just to give you a range of ideas of what that could look like. We're not trying to hide anything. Just be as straightforward as we can.
That's good.
Yeah. So.
I have a question.
Yeah, fire away.
So with the light therapy, is there a specific difference between the light therapy sometimes that the gyms are offering or the therapy that you guys offer?
Yeah, great question. Gyms commonly they might have different settings on their light,
Not
It just
sure.
got on or off.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the specific setting. So
Okay.
I know like Planet Fitness sometimes
Yeah.
offers the room where you can go in and you cover your eyes.
Yeah, right.
And then you just stand there for like 15 minutes or 10 minutes
Yeah.
to get some sort of light therapy
Exactly.
prior to going and
Right.
doing your exercise just to help you with energy.
Yep.
So my question was, is there are you using a different technology, or is it similar to what you're using?
Yeah, so similar in the sense of adding light energy. That one's generic in the sense of it's pretty much either on or off. If I'm understanding what that one is, this is we can actually program. I'm saying this microcurrent or the lasers here. We can program these. The gym is gonna have LEDs, which is different than a laser. So laser is coherent. LED is gonna be more like these guys. So in other words, this is scattering light, and you get different effects. Laser is coherent. So in short, yes, they're very different, conceptually similar in that you're getting light energy. You're going to get some benefit at the gym, 100%. We can get very specific and targeted when we can program the laser. It's like if we need to help brain or liver, for example, we can, or pancreas for the blood sugar thing, we can literally put in certain numbers or frequencies. It'll blink and turn on and off at a certain rate. Okay, so it's like a flashlight turns on and off real quick. And depending on how fast we blink it, it'll talk to different tissues or target different tissues. So it's like turning on your favorite radio station and then play your favorite song on that station. We can get kind of that specific with what we're doing with the tissues. So that's a big difference in terms of how they work. Conceptually though, if you get energy at the gym, do that. Yeah, that's a great idea. So does that help to answer that one?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I did notice that you do have some of the videos are women, but they are older women. So I guess my question is, have you treated younger women like me?
Yeah.
And also younger women that are African American?
Yes.
Because I do believe that our health is a little bit different.
100%.
So what I'm really seeking personally, it's not about how much it costs.
Right.
It's really, I'm used to having the annual physical. Like I'm one of those people that I have annual physicals every year. I see my GYN. I already had my, mammogram. I'm like, I do all these things, but I have realized that over the years I've lost weight, and then even when I eat extremely healthy, I gain it back. When I go back, depending on my weight, they'll say that my cholesterol is bad or I'm pre-diabetic, and they want to add medication. I'm not a medication person. I'm not a pill person. So I actually, for all my life, I've been very clean. I've never done drugs. I don't smoke, but I just don't feel that I'm at the max of where I'm supposed to be. So my question to you is, have you treated African American women that are in their upper 40s and who've had issues with, I know for a fact, with hormones? Because I have the excessive hair growth, the weight gain, the issue with the sugar and cholesterol. So I know it's something with hormones that my regular doctor cannot tell. And then I do go to Hershey, so I've had the same doctor at Hershey for a long time. They're pretty decent, but it's an education hospital. So what I'm looking for is someone to kind of say, hey, I think this is what the issues is, and if you do this, you will be able to kind of maintain your weight, your goal weight, and then live your best life. So that's what I'm seeking.
Okay.
I kind of gave you my whole overview already.
I love that. So in short, yes. And depends on what trial it is. Has anyone actually measured your hormones?
Yeah.
Okay, that is step one. And there's a couple ways to do that. Typically in the medical world, they're going to do blood work. And that's not all wrong, but it's only telling you, it's like what cars are driving on the road versus who's parked in the store spending money, right? So it's like what's actually changing the economy of the body versus what's being transported. And so blood testing can be useful, but it doesn't tell the whole story. We use urine testing that gives you the metabolites of what actually happened in the body. It's like looking at the receipts and saying what happened. And so we have a comprehensive panel run to see what's going on with hormones. Hormones, going back to the brain slide, are secondary, not that they're unimportant, but to stress and inflammation. And so we look at other factors for standard blood work to see what is superseding why. So if cholesterol is going up, cholesterol is needed for every cell in your body to repair, and it's the backbone for all of your hormones. So if they say, oh, lower your cholesterol, you're actually taking building blocks for your hormones out.
So my good cholesterol is normally good, but the bad, what they consider bad cholesterol is usually high.
Okay.
So I know I've done the whole fish oil thing. I am a salmon. I'm a seafood person.
Okay.
Fish,
Yeah.
but nothing has worked. So I guess that's where I'm at. I need to figure out what exactly it is. So when I saw that online, I was like, literally going to drive all the way to New Jersey to see a doctor. Someone had recommended. So I was like, okay, I'll come here first and kind of hear the seminars and discuss some things and see what happens.
Yeah. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Did you learn something that seems like a good information or good fit
I did.
in that sense?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
What stood out to you?
What stood out to me is the light therapy that you guys are using. What stood out is the fact that you had one person lost weight on whatever regimen she was on, which is what I'm seeking.
Right.
That's important to me.
Yeah.
I've always been petite all my life, but having my two kids, they were premature, extremely premature. So I don't know if it's the steroids and the drugs and all those things that have triggered the weight gain. Recently, I've lost it and maintained it for like about 2 years, but somehow within a couple of years, it just creeps up even when nothing has changed. I do work out. I go to the gym. I wake up in the morning even though I don't want to. If I could find something where I didn't have to work out all the time, I would.
Yeah.
But now it's getting discouraging because you're working out, but you're eating healthy. I don't drink alcohol. But nothing is really working.
Yeah.
So I do know I have the inflammation. I know the pre-diabetic, the cholesterol. So I know it's something with hormones.
Yeah.
So I'm actually making your work easy for you.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, so like,
I already know.
we do so like, what's the hormone panel look like? We run some labs and say what's the actual other inflammatory marker the driver's doing. Just further assessment. We didn't really look at stress brain and what that's doing, but assuming again, stress will impact hypothalamus and then keep you in freeze.
Okay.
And
I do work a high stress job.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like I understand self-care. I
Right.
do a lot of it.
Yeah.
I travel. I'm very spiritual. I'm involved in my community, my church. So, I mean, I feel like I get facials, I get my nails done. So I feel like I know what to do to unstress.
Yeah.
So I don't feel it's just stress. I think it's something
No, something else. I would agree. And there might be certain things, I don't know this yet, but when, for example, difficult pregnancy or delivery process, right? Every time you see your child, as much as you love them, it can be, for some people, I've seen this, a non-conscious trigger. And you don't necessarily feel it, but the neurochemistry is running. Every time you see your child, it's reminding the brain of this was a difficult moment. Right? So, and that sometimes distinguishes, but sometimes it doesn't. And that if that's running, something like that's running, and you can do all the things, there might be other options to extinguish that on a more permanent level, and then you're actually getting to the core of where it's driven from, instead of having all the self-care items, which obviously they're great, don't diminish that, but if we get to the core of what's driving it, and we don't need to, then you're actually making headway instead of just managing. Does that make sense? So if that's just an idea on the mental side, it could be there. I have no idea yet, but just as an example. And that may not be your main thing, I don't know. But that would definitely impact hormones, from the top down. It could be something else, but that's what we have to explore and figure out.
Yeah. I think some of the steroids and the things they gave me probably triggered because I was extremely petite all my life. But I think also being extremely petite could have been maybe when I was younger, now I'm diagnosing myself, that I had maybe hyperthyroid. That's why I've always stayed petite. And then somehow as I was having children, it shifts.
Yeah.
Where I don't have sign of thyroid, but somehow it shifts where I don't think it's producing to its maximum level, and that's where. Because I think I was extreme. Like if you see my pictures, I was extremely petite. Even when I'm from the Caribbean, we eat heavy carbs.
Yeah.
Now after having kids, I stopped eating the heavy carbs because I was aware of that. But if I ate that way and I never gained a pound, I think there was something that was kind of keeping the weight off. So that's my diagnosis for myself.
Yeah. And with the light changing, like the summertime you feel great, and then wintertime happens over the fall and it gets worse. There's like a melatonin, like, MSH, all these other pituitary level hormones. It sounds right based in what I'm hearing. It's contributing as well.
I also take a vitamin D a day. Usually when they do check my vitamin D, is usually low.
Okay.
So I do that. I do a fish oil, but that's it.
It might be a physics thing. I like it in chemistries. Curious. So both of them to figure out. Let me go through the rest of this before you give you options for what could be next. If that makes sense for you. Would that be helpful?
Yep.
All right. So here's what I promise, which is still good to make this these days. But like, if you have something going on that's not in our wheelhouse, we're not going to waste your time or money. We're like, hey, look, here's other people that might support you in that. Our whole heart is to make sure you support you. If we can do it in-house, awesome. If we need to refer out, we're going to make sure you're in good hands. Okay? So with that in mind, it's a pretty simple situation. We go through our consult history and find out what your goals are, which you've already shared most of them already. And then we go through for you, it wouldn't be you so much thought we'd geared toward everything you just mentioned. We go through our examinations we need to do on that. Actually, maybe on the side, I would suggest a couple of labs before you even get that party rolling quicker, if that would make sense. We can explore that.
Okay.
But that way we have information. We actually have a dialogue and can make better decisions on that. Part of our diagnostics, we do heart rate variability testing. It looks like a pulse ox on your finger, and we get information like this in a couple minutes. Lets us know, is your autonomic system balanced? We need that to be in the middle. If you're too much red, fight, flight, or freeze, you can see where the nerve system's at. And if you're actually able to get into a healing mode, right? Otherwise, your body's like, nope, let's keep that on for a rainy day. And so that can be where that comes in. And we look at the stress resistant stress scores and kind of get an idea how the physiology is working from a stress level. We do our physical exam to see if you're in fight, flight, or freeze. If you're in fight, the flexors turn on and the back turns off. If you're running away, opposite happens. These turn on, so you run away. These turn off. And if you're in freeze, none of it works. So you can see that in a physical exam to see what the neurology is actually doing in real time. Get all that information together, go over labs if we need to, and then we go, what's your inflammation, which, gut health looking like, what are all the factors involved, and go over your plan to get you better where you want to get. Okay, that's our second visit with that. Everything together, values $875 for both visits. When you show up to workshops, you get some demos and cool stuff and some one-on-ones without you take action to, that's when you start, when you do something about it. So to encourage you for that one, we're going to get energy boost treatment again on the second visit. And we'll get you some additional recipes. Sounds like you have a good wheelhouse already, but some additional help for recipes that can support you in reducing inflammation, maybe even more, would be another gift to give you. So value for everything there's $975 for showing up today and being here. We're doing everything for $297, which includes both visits and the treatment and the gifts there. And if that makes sense for you, that'd be the next step. It's going to save you the most. And I would say if you're super ready, we run some labs and just get that rolling between now and when we see you. Get some more information going so we can fast forward that. That's not a must, but I'm just giving options since you showed up today. We've had a little little fun one-on-one time.
Yeah.
Questions on any of that?
No,
Okay.
not really. I mean, it feels like, yeah, that's something I'm definitely interested in doing. So, when would I be able to schedule to come back?
Great question. The ladies know all that information, so they would collect the $297, find first available, and get you rolling.
Okay. So would the 297 only applies to if I decide today, or would this?
If it'll call me tomorrow or a week or whatever, then you're like, I'm gonna remember to eat.
Okay.
We'll make something happen for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make something happen for you. We're not hard to sell. We're just here to support you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's that. We talked about how to do that.
Yes.
And you are free to go.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Doc, if she were to do hormones, what would that run?
Yeah, that's a
Blood
great
tests
question
and
too.
hormones.
Yeah.
Just to give her an idea, like what it would take to, what it would cost
Right.
to run the hormone panels.
Yeah. So
and the blood tests, just to give you a heads up idea.
work and hormones through insurance is going to be easily over 2,000 if we're a nationwide cash co-op, and so the blood work is going to be 350, 400, and then the hormones probably similar. So we do all of it for probably under 1,000 for blood work and hormone panel.
Okay.
I don't know exact numbers, but that's usually where it kind of runs.
So do you guys have your own company that does your blood work and your panels, hormones?
Um,
Or would I be able to go to my doctor and say, hey, I feel this
Absolutely.
is happening to me. I want you to run these tests.
Yep.
Because technically he can't tell me no if I'm telling him I'm having symptoms
Right.
of, I'm hairy or I'm cold or
Right.
sometimes I'm hot. He
Mhm.
really can't say no. I'm a social worker. So just
So okay, you know then. You know a little more about
Technically,
that.
he
Yeah.
can't say no.
Right.
So that way I can do my typical
Yeah.
annual physical with him and
Yep.
request some of these testing.
Absolutely.
And my insurance will cover it,
Yep.
and then I can have my result forward because I have a portal access.
Great.
Have that forward to you. I'm just trying to find a cost effective.
Absolutely.
I don't want money to be a reason why I don't continue
Right.
the services.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think of a cost effective way where
Sure.
I can continue it.
Common
Getting
question.
Some of the things.
I have a printout of the labs we run, and I'm happy to give you a copy of that. You can say, hey, can we run these
Yes.
labs and see what's going on?
And maybe do a basic thyroid just to see if anything comes up.
Yeah. The trick with the I would encourage that. Typically, the only one they're going to run is TSH,
Yeah.
maybe T3, T4. But if those are within range, they're going to miss the other absorption, and that's why we run the rest of it. That being said, they're also not going to run autoimmune.
Of course not.
That's in the panel we do. I'm all for that, and I hope you get all the coverage you got. What I've been seeing over the last 20 years of doing this, I can count probably on two hands the people who have gotten reimbursement for all of it, and their out of pocket for the remainder of the test is more than the cash co-op
Sometimes.
most of the time. That's just what I've seen. I'm happy to give you the information just to make you aware of that. If we need to run whatever they will choose not to run, we can have that conversation if needed to. Yeah, it's not a problem.
Sounds good.
Okay. Hormones, I doubt they're gonna do the urine. They'll probably do blood. And that's fine, but it's only letting us know what's transferring, not what's actually metabolized to the body.
I mean, urine, how costly would a urine?
I don't know, we can go find out.
Okay. One last question. You didn't
Yeah.
answer if you treat someone within my age range.
Yes, your age range and
that's
your
a good
demographic.
range. Yeah,
Yes.
you have.
I have.
Okay. And there's been success.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And they had some other issues, fibromyalgia, diabetes, and dramatically better.
Okay. Just wanted to hear.
No, that's critical. I'm glad you're asking that question. Not many people ask it.
Yeah.
It's a vital one.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, we don't think we can help. I'm not going to be like, oh, believe me, the last thing I want to do is, we worked really hard to get 5-star reviews and, 20 years in the community. That's not something I take lightly. If I don't think I can help you, I risk my reputation on that.
Okay.
So your help is way too important.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
This was great.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad you showed up. This is fun for us too.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The only time we risk our reputation is if they've tried everything else and we are the last hope.
That's
Yes.
also
And,
true.
and they know that that's what we're trying to figure it out together ahead of time.
Yeah,
Does
that's
that make sense?
that's a
Yeah,
very
so
good
that's
point.
the only time we'll take on something where it's like, we don't know if we can help.